he was banned from Hollywood. Not blacklisted on paper, but in reality, no one would hire him. Studios saw a risk, directors saw a problem, and insurance companies, they refused to cover him at all. Because behind the headlines, his life was collapsing. Drugs, arrests, rehab, jail, a rising star, turning into a cautionary tale. At one point, he was found passed out in a stranger's house, a moment so surreal it felt like fiction. And just like that, trust was gone. Offers disappeared. Calls stopped coming. His career wasn't fading. It was over. But here's the part no one expected. The same man Hollywood gave up on would become the face of its biggest franchise ever. So what changed? And why did one risky decision rewrite everything? Before everything fell apart, he had it all. Robert Downey Jr. wasn't just another actor. He was one of the most promising talents in Hollywood. Born into the industry, acting since childhood, he had a natural charisma you couldn't ignore. By his 20s, critics were calling him a genius. By his early 30s, he was starring in major films and earning award nominations. It looked like the beginning of something legendary. But behind the scenes, something else was growing. Addiction. What started early in his life slowly tightened its grip. And over time, it stopped being something he could control. Missed shoots, unpredictable behavior, broken trust. Studios started to worry. Then came the arrests. Again, and again, and again. Each one louder than the last. Rehab didn't stick. Promises didn't last. And every second chance made the next failure worse. Until the industry stopped seeing talent and only saw risk. Directors didn't want to work with him. Studios couldn't afford to. And insurance companies made it clear he was uninsurable, which in Hollywood means one thing: you don't exist. This was the point where everything broke. Not just his career, his life. Robert Downey Jr. wasn't just struggling anymore. He was spiraling in public. In 1996, he was arrested for possession. Then again. And again. At one point, he was sentenced to prison. Not a headline, not a rumor, a jail cell. The same man who once stood on red carpets was now behind bars. And even when he got out, nothing really changed. Studios had already moved on. He was fired from projects mid-production, written out of shows, replaced without hesitation. Because no one could take the risk. Even if a director believed in him, insurance companies wouldn't approve it. And without insurance, there is no movie. It didn't matter how talented he was. In Hollywood's eyes, he was finished. No roles, no trust, no future. Just a reputation no one wanted to touch. This wasn't a setback. This was the end of the road. But somewhere in that darkness, something started to change. Not overnight, not dramatically, just a decision. A quiet, difficult decision to take control again. Robert Downey Jr. knew something had to be different this time, because there wouldn't be another chance after this. And slowly, things began to shift. He committed to getting clean, not just for a role, not for the public, but for himself. It wasn't perfect. There were doubts, setbacks, people waiting for him to fail again. Because in Hollywood, reputation doesn't reset easily. But a few people still believed. Directors willing to take small risks. Friends who stood by him when no one else did. And role by role, step by step, he started rebuilding what he had lost. Not the fame, not the spotlight. Trust. He took smaller projects, independent films, supporting roles. Nothing glamorous, but every time he showed up, on time, prepared, focused, he proved something no one expected anymore. that he could be reliable, that he could be different. And slowly, the narrative around him began to change. Not completely, but just enough for one opportunity to appear. That opportunity was a risk no one wanted to take. A small studio, not yet the giant it would become, was preparing a film about a lesser-known superhero, Ironman. But there was a problem. They needed someone to play Tony Stark, a genius, a billionaire, and a man with a complicated past, someone brilliant, charismatic, unpredictable, someone who had lived through chaos and come back from it. There was one name that fit perfectly: Robert Downey Jr. But to the studio, he was still a gamble. Executives pushed back. Hard. Too risky. Too unstable. Too soon. Because if this failed, it wouldn't just hurt the film. It could destroy the studio. But the director saw something different. He didn't just see an actor. He saw the character. Because Tony Stark wasn't perfect. He was flawed, broken, human, and no one understood that better than Robert Downey Jr. So they took the risk, and from the moment filming began, everything changed. The performance wasn't forced, it was real. Every line, every look felt like truth. And suddenly, the man Hollywood rejected was becoming someone unforgettable. Ironman didn't just succeed, it changed everything. The film was a massive hit, and just like that, Robert Downey Jr. was back. Not as the actor he once was, but as something bigger. He became the face of an entire universe, a character that would define a generation. The same man who was once uninsurable was now leading one of the biggest franchises in history. And the story that almost ended in silence became one of the greatest comebacks ever. So the question is, if everything fell apart, would you find a way back? Subscribe and like for more stories like this.